Hi guys, this is another first generation match against my friend Merky. It was an overused tier battle, so let's just start with it. I started with James because nobody expects him and he started with his victory bell. I went with Mimic predicting his switch and he switches out into his Chansey. I went with Level Kiss and Chansey fell asleep. So I decided to switch into my Dragonite. I used my Dragonite and I went with Agility predicting his switch. He sent out his Charmy. I used Agility and I went with Grat, but unfortunately it missed. What a shame! How the hell it could be possible? At least I could paralyze his Starmie with my Thunder Wave. So like you can see. Okay, I went with Hyper Beam, but it was fully paralyzed and his Starmie take my Dragonite down. Dragonite thanks for nothing. I went with my Snorlax. I went with Amnesia because I thought he was going to switch out, but I was wrong, as you can see. I went with Body Slam. He switched out. I used Body Slam, but his Kangaskhan didn't get paralyzed. I went with Body Slam another one more time, but Kangaskhan didn't fall asleep. So he switched out and he sent out his Golem. I went with Rest, trying to restore my stat, because I have predicted his switch. And yeah, my Snorlax recovered all his health. His Kangaskhan used my Body Slam a lot of times, as you can see. I went with Blizzard, but he took my Snorlax down with his Hyper Beam, and he hasn't got to recharge because he defeated my Snorlax, and it was first generation mechanics. He switched out and he sent out his Starmie. I went with Blizzard. I thought he was going to use Thunder Wave, so I decided to switch out and send out my Cloyster, since the Cloyster's speed isn't good. I went with Blizzard predicting a switch and trying to freeze one of his Pokémon, but I had got a really bad luck in this battle. It was fucking frustrating to me. For it paralyzed another one more time. What a shame, man. So I switched out into my Jinx. He used me Thunderbolt. I went with Blizzard trying to freeze his Chansey. He switched out into his Charmy. I went with Blizzard, as I have told you. I switched out and I sent out my Cloyster. he was very paralyzed, I went with Hyper Beam trying to do the most damage as possible. I went with Hyper Beam, but it wasn't strong enough like to defeat him. And yeah, he used a recover. Another one more time. I had got to rechair. He used me a psychic, and psychic took my cluster down. I went with my Zapdos. I went with Thunder Wave, but he predicted me and switched it into his Golem. So I decided to switch out, since I couldn't do anything. He used me Body Slam. My jeans got paralyzed. I went with my level keys, but since Jin's defense is really weak, his golem took my Jin's down, as you can see. I used Reflect, trying to be more time on the battle with my Alakazam, because most golems attacks are physical, and he decided to switch out and he sent out his Chansey. I put my Reflect and I went with Thunder Wave and I paralyzed him. I decided to switch out and I sent out my Zapdos. He used me as Ben. Oh, critical hit, what a shame. Really bad luck. That's all what I can tell you, man. He's fully paralyzed. I went with Psychic, trying to reduce his special stat. He used me Ice Beam trying to freeze my Alakazam. I went with Psychic another one more time, and yeah, critical hit, and he got paralyzed. Fully paralyzed. I went with Psychic, come on. Critical hit, he used Soft Violet, and he recovered his health. I went with Psychic, and yeah, another one more time. I couldn't do anything more. What do you expect from me? Psychic, come on, reduce his special stat. He used me Ice Beam trying to freeze my Alakazam, but he couldn't do it. I went with Psychic, and yeah, his special stat fell and he got fully paralyzed in that turn. So he decided to switch out and he sent out his Charmy. I continued with Psychic. He used me Thunder Wave and my Alakazam got paralyzed, but since his Starmie is paralyzed as well, it wasn't so bad. He used Recover. He regained health. Alakazam was fucking tired, but I decided by continuing using Psychic against his Charmy, who was tired as well. And yeah, Psychic, his special stat fell. He used me Psychic as well. I went with Psychic, and yeah, Alakazam was able to take his Charmy down. Thanks a lot of Alakazam. You did a really good job. So I went with Reflect Bad. He finished my Alakazam. I went with Zapdos since it was my last Pokemon. I only could use drill pet. He finished my Zapdos with his Rock Slide, and that was all. I hope you have enjoyed it. See you around.